Okay, what I wanted to do here was I wanted to show you the Agora Spirit Day event. You can see they're all over the state and they're coming up soon, so why not have some fun and be a part of these, okay? You can see we have them all over. We have them in Chambersburg, Pico Manor, we have them all over. And remember to bring a poster with you so you can win the reward, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to be going into labs 4 to 6 today. But first we're going to go into the course, and we're going to look at the course real quick. So let me get there first. So here we are on the course, and you can see we're up to the last week of the course, and a week from today we're in session 2. Okay, in the calendar you can see we have the final assignment starting tomorrow, and we have quizzes 6 and 7. You can see the last day of class is the 6th, and quarter 2 is beginning a week from today. Okay, this is chapter 6, and what we're looking at is we're finishing labs 4 to 7 today, and we're looking at what's called the parallax perspective, where the background is moving slower than the foreground. And so in order to do this, what we've got to do is we got to create a background layer that's wider than the stage. So here we go. We have our character here, we have him on stage, and now what we're going to do is we're going to show what we've got so far. The character's walking on the ground, all right? So what we've got to do is we've got to make the background move in lab 4. So we're going to tile the background and create the symbols we need to scroll. So we go, we're going to zoom in so you can see what we're doing. So we can see all sides. Now we're going to drag in the background layer. So I put it right there. So now I got the selection tool. I click in the background layer. And I'm going to put a second instance of the background right up there. I click on the library. And I'm going to drag that right onto the stage to the right of my original instance. I'm going to drag that layer right next to the other layer. I'm going to turn on my snapping settings, so I need to change them so that I can move it right up next to the other one. I want snap align and snap to guides selected, so I can pull it right over there. Now you watch. I'm going to see a dotted line to the right and to the bottom of that. There we go. It's lined up perfectly. Now it's going to scroll right. Now I'm going to change it to a symbol. I'm going to go convert to a symbol, and I'm going to call those background tiles. Click OK. So now I'm going to change that to a symbol again. I click in frame 1. I go modify, convert to symbol, and I'm going to call this background motion. I have the second instance here because if I animate the background with just one frame, you can move the background off the stage, but nothing new would scroll in its place. So now I'm inside the symbol itself, or I'm going to go inside the symbol itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you see it says up at the top background motion, so I'm inside the symbol. If I was outside the symbol, I could make them both go the same speed, but I couldn't make one go faster and the other one go slower. So I'm going to insert my motion tween here, go to frame 24, and I'm going to insert a keyframe. Now some of you guys like to go insert timeline keyframe. So now I'm going to push this over to where I want it to be on, now you need to line it up at the top and on the bottom, on the side. So you need both lines. So now I click enter, and I watch my movie. It's going a bit fast, isn't it? So we're going to slow it down. I'm going to drag that out to, I'm going to make it 400 frames instead of 24, so it'll go at a better speed. Just drag it out. That's all you have to do. To 400. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's down to the regular speed. Now it's got kind of a jerky motion to it, so I'm going to insert a keyframe in the 399th layer right before the 400th one. So now I'm going to hold down the control key, click 400, and I'm going to delete that frame. I'm just going to go right click, remove frame. So now it's going to, now we're on the movie, there's going to be no jerkiness in the movie because the last layer and the first layer are exactly the same. So it just is weird. So if you take out the last one, then you don't have the jerkiness in it anymore. So now we're going outside the movie and we're in the next lab. We're in lab 6. So now we're going to magnify it. We're going to come out and set it the way it's supposed to be. Center it. And we're just going to save it. So we lock the background. We put it where it's supposed to go. So in this lab, we're going to make a path for our character to walk on. Our next layer is going to have a path for our character to walk on. The path is going to be just behind and under the character's feet. It can be a dirt path, a road, a sidewalk, or something else for your character to walk on. So you're going to add the details on the path and on the sides of the path so you'll be able to tell that it scrolls. So now we're going to add a layer. In the lower left-hand side of the timeline, we're going to click New Layer. In the timeline, we're going to double-click Layer 5, type Path, and then click Enter. Then we're going to click and drag the path layer above the other layers in the timeline. So we're going to move it back later. Next I'm going to choose a rectangle and I'm going to choose a color for what my land's going to be. I don't have to be too particular here. I'm going to change my snapping settings, but I want to figure out what kind of color I want for my land. Now I'm going to go in and change my snapping settings. I need to, so that I only want snap to grid turned on. So I click the view menu, then I got to click snapping, then I got to click edit snapping. In the edit snapping dialog box next to snap to grid, I'm going to click the check box to check it. If any of the other boxes in the dialog box are checked, I'm going to click to uncheck them and click OK. Now I'm going to position the rectangle. My path is going to stretch all the way across the stage from one end to the other so that it will scroll perfectly. To make it fit the width of the stage exactly, you're going to make the basic shape for your path with the rectangle tool. Then you're going to add the other drawing tools to add details. Okay, in the timeline tool in the path layer, click frame 1. In the tools panel, click the rectangle tool. Click fill color. Now here I'm going to use my eraser and I'm going to make a jagged edge along the top. So now I'm going to add details, whatever I want to add here. Put some snowballs here, different colors. Like a snowman. Making a snowman. Give him a hat. Give him an eyes, nose and mouth. Arms, maybe some buttons. I'll make some dead grass. I better do a different color, brown maybe. So now I use the drawing tools to add details on or around the path, rocks, flowers, or other small objects on or near the path. If you want to, you can change the color with the paint bucket tool. Make sure your drawing stays inside the edges of the stage so it will scroll correctly later. So I've got my drawing done. I want to convert this to a symbol, so what do? I click in layer 1, and this selects the path with all its details. I click F8 to convert to a symbol. In the type drop-down box, make sure movie clip is selected. Then I call this path. Now I'm going to position the path. So now we're going to drag and drop the other instance on here. So we're going to combine these to make them into a tile. So now we're going to have to change our snapping settings. And we're going to, because we're finished drawing, right, so we have to click Snap Align and Snap to Guides. And that'll help us in lining up our two sections here. So we just drag it out. And we carefully make sure that they come together. We want to see those dotted lines on the top and on the between them. Okay, so now we're going to click in Path and we're going to make them into one symbol. We click there, and we go File, Save, and Modify, Convert to Symbol. And we're going to call this Path to Movement or something like that. Path to Tile. All right. We have to save it again. I don't know why we have to do this twice, but this is part of the instructions. Now we'll do it Path to Movement. So now we're going to open up the symbol. We're going to double click. I'm going to insert my motion tween. Yeah, it's one symbol. I'm going to click in there and I'm going to insert my keyframe. And now I'm going to put it where it needs to go. So I'm pulling it off to the left to make sure my dotted lines show up. And now I'm ready to go. There it is. But I haven't put it straight, so I have to redo it. So I'm going to drag it off to hold down the Shift key and drag it where it needs to go straight to the end. All the way over until I get both dotted lines. There you go. There's my movie. It's going much too fast, so I'm going to have to take my line up to 100. Let's drag it out there. Now I'm going to see, there it is. It's going slower. That's what we need to see, right? Very good. So now I'm going to trim it. I'm going to click over there And I'm going to add a keyframe in 99. Then I'm going to take out that frame in 100. So I hold it in the control key, so I just select the 100. So right click it and click remove frame. And I'm all ready. So I'm ready to save it. I've saved it. Now I go back into the regular view. I zoom in, I put my path where it belongs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that character. I'm going to make him bigger and put him exactly where I want him on the path. So I click on the character, take off the padlock, click make sure I'm on layer 1. Then I'm going to click that box. And I'm going to make him bigger. And make sure that he's exactly where I want him. I think I'm also going to change those shoes. I want them to have the same color shoes. So I'm going to click on open up the foot. I'm going to change that color. So I'm going to go properties. I'm going to go where it says color. To give him the same color sneaker. And take away that outline on it. I'm going to come back. No outline, solid. Come back out. See, he's got green sneakers on now. I think I like that a little better. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to go File, Save. There it is. That's how it looks a little bit better now with the same color sneakers, and with, this is how we're going to publish this movie now. We're all done. I go File, Publish Settings. I go to the HTML tab. I'm going to change that center to left and that vertical to top. Click Publish. You don't have to worry about this and click OK. You don't have to worry about this if you've got a more recent version. You should just be able to publish it. And you should get your SWF file. And you're all ready to send this to Miss Hadley. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and take the quiz. We're going to take the Mod 6 quiz. It has only one less answer than the regular quiz, so that'll be okay. In Flash, the grid is a blank on the stage. Is it a point in the exact center? Is it the hidden scrolling layer? Or is it a set of vertical and horizontal lines? Well, you know it's a set of vertical and horizontal lines. It looks like a grid, just like a piece of graph paper. Blank layers are background or foreground layers that can move across a stage. So it appears to be moving. Is it scrolling, fixed, or guide? You know it's scrolling. That's the right answer. Let's go to the next question. Blank layers stay in one place instead of scrolling across the stage. Is it firm, fixed, or tween? You know it is fixed. What is a tiled background? Is it a background pattern that matches both sides and repeats? Is it a fixed background layer? Or is it indoor scene with tiles on the floor? It's the first one, a background pattern that matches on both sides and repeats. In real life, objects that are far away appear to move more slowly than objects close up. What's that effect called? Momentum effect, parallel perspective, or scrolling perspective. You know it's parallax perspective. And so that's it for today. And we've already done the 6-8 quiz and just a few little points here.
Okay, once again, if you've done the project, you don't have to come in tomorrow. You can just sign in and pop out again, okay? Talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Bye.